What
you
is
go.
that? Oh, I got some light in front of me somehow. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. You look like you look like an angel.
I don't know how that's working, but all
That's
right.
okay. That's okay. Yeah, it
All
looks like
right.
a beam of life, but that's all right, girl. At least you know that you are lit up today.
I
How
am
are
lit
you,
up.
Crystal?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Just worried about you. You know the deal. Yeah. So I do want to mention that there was a loss in our family this week, and his name was Oscar. You guys know about him. And I'm not going to make Crystal cry, but we just want to make honorable mention to him. She took him down to Florida in his little bag. I think we told you about that. And he had a day on the beach, and you know, he's in paradise. So
Yep.
pretty amazing, pretty
Yep.
amazing. I just want you to know that intuition is a real thing. If you are intuitive about something, if you think you need to do something, if you feel it in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit, you better go ahead and do what that intuition is telling you because it's
Mhm.
so important.
It
And
is.
it's normally correct.
Yeah.
So she had the intuition to take her puppy with her. And I'm telling you, it happened the way it was supposed to happen. She and I already had this conversation.
Mhm.
It happened the way it was supposed to happen, and it doesn't make it any easier in some ways, but it does in others. And so that was pretty. She's so doggone smart, you guys. Not only book
uh,
smart, but she just has, what is it that we call it? Empathic?
yeah. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You feel all the emotions. You feel things. You're intuitive usually.
yeah, yeah. Both of us are empathic, but she's doggone. She's really good. And then also, I wanted to just ask her, like we always do on top of every program, tell her about her testimony. So, Crystal, could you please tell us why we do this, what your testimony is, and the importance of Wellness Wednesday, really?
Yeah. So, well, I'm a natural health and herb specialist and a holistic health coach. And, years ago, the reason I started doing this, because years ago I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. It was an inflammatory bowel disease. It's kind of like Crohn's, if you know about Crohn's, or I know IBD, IBS disorders and things like that. It basically got me on my deathbed. I lost over 30 pounds in 1 month, got down to 97 pounds, was hospitalized. Doctor said, like if I was any older, I probably wouldn't have made it, things like that. They wanted to do chemo, they wanted to do different drugs. I didn't try chemo, but I did try
Good.
the medications like steroids and ulcerative colitis medication, but it made it worse. And so the next step was like surgery and doing the chemo stuff, and that just wasn't for me. And I met a naturopathic doctor, and she taught me about diet, lifestyle, and like nutrition and herbs. And I was hooked from then on, and my body started healing and getting better. And so I just thought I need to share this with the world because someone out there needs to do, needs this, that you don't want to be sick for the rest of your life. So that's why we do what we do. And we want to share holistic health on Wellness Wednesdays.
Yeah. You guys, I'm going to tell you, 98 pounds is probably one of my legs.
Oh,
So
goodness.
that'll put you in perspective of how small she was.
Oh,
I'm
man,
just saying.
it's crazy because it was an over 30-pound loss in 1 month, and
Now that is crazy.
that's
That's
not healthy.
pretty scary, actually.
It's very scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt like death. I look like death.
Mm. I'm so thankful. So thankful that her naturopathic doctor is also my naturopathic doctor. So, and it's amazing. We didn't know that until very recently. It's
Yep.
kind of amazing how that happened. But yeah, so I'm very happy that that happened, that you
Yeah.
had the smarts and the intuitiveness.
Yeah.
Speaking about being intuitive, about not taking on, well, you know what you felt like. I was having this conversation with someone else about their child. I can't remember what it was, but when my son was in grade school, they tried to say that he had ADD. Elliot was just extremely smart, and he didn't learn like other kids. That doesn't make
Mm,
you ADD, ADHD.
mm-mm.
I think it was my my niece. I was talking to my niece because they did the same thing. First thing they want to do is throw medicine,
Mhm. Mhm.
throw prescriptions. And so we
Right.
tried it. And when he was 10 or 11, he said, Mom, I don't like the way this feels. I said, don't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, so why, as a mother that knows nothing about ADHD, I don't know anything about that. I
Mhm.
told him, don't take it. He's never needed that stuff. He just needed to be taught differently, more patience, whatever. Give him something that challenged him. And that's what I would tell these teachers. But just because they say throw them on medicine doesn't mean you necessarily have to. So they would
Yeah.
just want to throw things at, yeah.
A lot of times it's just really a diet change and that simple could fix almost
Mm,
everything. Because I always talk about, if we don't eat food as our medicine, someday we're going to have to eat medicine as our food, and we don't want to end up like that. So,
yeah.
and another thing is the doctors say that, I'm not against doctors. I'm just
I'm
telling you
not
what they
either.
told me.
Yeah.
That I'm supposed to have this disease for the rest of my life, that I'm supposed to take this medication for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
And I haven't taken any of it, and I'm healthy, and I don't have ulcerative colitis anymore. And they won't claim things because I used herbs and I used diet and lifestyle. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it right there. I do want everybody to know I did go yesterday to get my blood work done, so I'll give you the results
oh
when,
yes,
yeah, when they come in a couple of days. So I'll tell you next Wellness Wednesday what the results are. I'm excited about them. I haven't taken my blood sugar medicines in, well, probably 3 months.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, I'm okay, and I can tell a difference in my body. Um,
Yep.
how I think my sugar dropped maybe once or twice that I needed to eat an orange or something, but I'm good with that. So
Right.
yeah, so I can't wait to tell you guys. All right, so today we have a guest. Her name is Carla Mason, and you've already met her. She is so knowledgeable in so much stuff. She has a master's in science of exercise. I think I'm saying that right. She'll correct me. But not only that though, she has a couple of things that we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure you won't. If Crystal says she's going to learn something today, you know that it's going to be something special. So can we please bring Miss Carla Mason on? Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
How
Hi.
are
How
you?
are you, Carla?
Good. How are you two beautiful ladies?
Doing good. Doing
You
good.
changed
Good.
your angle, woman. I saw that.
Sorry. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
All right.
adjusted a little bit more and I think I might have got it too high. So
You're fine. You're fine. So as long as we can see your beautiful face and we can see
uh,
that. So
thank
all
you.
right.
Thank
Yeah. So Miss Carla, please now correct me. Tell me what your title is and what it is that you used to do.
you.
Now you're our consultant, which I love. Absolutely. I really love that you're our consultant. But what did you used to do?
Well, first of all, the degree, it's a master's in exercise science. So you're
Oh,
right. It is
okay.
it's science of exercise.
Yeah.
And yes, that's related also to exercise physiology, is how the system works. But I found it to be an exciting degree because I just wanted to know more about how my body worked while I was doing my personal training and
Mhm.
teaching yoga. And I was also working as a substitute for AARP, teaching exercise classes to seniors. So that's what I have been doing for the past less 7 years. And as you said, doing some consulting. And so I just love sharing the the knowledge that I have. And hopefully you will learn something and you'll think about it.
Yes, I can't wait.
Well, I tell you what, her every time I talk to both these ladies, actually, I learn something every single solitary time. So I remember telling Carla just a couple of weeks ago that I have this one thing called berberine, and I take it, and it's so bitter. It's so bitter. I mean, I can taste it through the gel. That's how bitter it is. And so I have to hurry up and drink it down or drink it with something that's really sweet or something. But I get it down. That's important. So Carla said that it's important that we have our bitters. Now, have you guys ever heard that?
Yep.
I know that dandelion is very bitter, and I know that it's also very good for you. But
Mm-hmm.
Carla, tell us. I want Carla to tell us why we need our bitters, and then I want you, Crystal, to tell us why dandelions are so good for us. Dandelion weeds, by the way. The actual dandelions that's growing outside on your
Mm-hmm.
lawn
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is actually the weed I'm talking about. So,
Yep.
Carla, why do we need our bitters?
Well, I'm probably not the best expert at this,
That's
except that I do know with our body, we have an alkalinity. And in order to keep
okay.
our body alkaline, you have to have a balance of bitters because you're going to get a lot of starch and sweet in the foods that you eat, even though you might not be eating something with sugar in it. When you eat something like potatoes, anything with white flour in it, that's a starch, and that eventually degrades to glucose in our bodies. So we have to have that balance. And the bitters also help with digestive issues.
Yep.
Uh, they help. They do help with digestive issues such as nausea, some different areas like that. But yes, basically that's the whole sum of it, is that you need the bitters in order to keep your body in balance. It's just kind of the way life is. There's a balance. There should be a balance to everything.
Yeah. So, Crystal,
Mm-hmm.
what are other than dandelions and after what are some of the bitters that we're talking about? But go right ahead and chime in on that.
There's golden seal, like in your berberine, that's part of the golden seal family. Bayberry, those are all bitters. I believe Cascara sagrada is a bitter because it helps secrete the peristaltic action, like the bile, so the peristaltic action will happen in the colon. Um, the digestive bitters help you to digest basically better, and it helps. I believe it has to do something with your saliva as well. I can't remember. I had a class on that a long time ago, but I just can't remember what it is. But it's definitely great for your digestive system, great for your liver, and that brings you to dandelion, which is also bitter, and it's great for your digestive system. It has natural sodium in it, and your stomach needs sodium in order to digest things and produce those, like enzymes and stuff. So you need that natural sodium. And then dandelion's also a great herb for your liver as well. So it naturally helps with digestion and just helps your liver have optimal function, basically. So dandelion is a great herb. You can eat it in salad, the leaves.
Yeah,
You can even eat the flower part. You can do dandelion root. There's dandelion tea at the store.
I think there's a such thing as dandelion greens. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I had in high school. Our science teacher gave us some dandelions, and I could not believe they were bitter, but he
Yeah.
cooked them pretty well. Like he literally cooked dandelions, you guys, and we ate
Oh
it, and
yeah.
it was good, but
Yep.
very bitter. I'm not gonna sit here and I don't even know how you can unbitter something like that, but
Well, it's
it
going to
was
help
good.
alkalize too.
Yeah, that was a good point, Carla. I never even thought about that. But okay, so Crystal, you said it was good for the liver, and I know it's good for the blood sugars. So is that why? Because it's helping the liver out?
Yeah, because your liver, and your pancreas and, how the insulin works, your liver helps get that. And like, it's mainly the pancreas, but it helps with the insulin production, and it helps like people mostly with diabetics. If you ever hear that they have like cirrhosis of the liver, cirrhosis of the liver is just basically, it doesn't have to be like alcoholic, it can be due to high fructose corn syrup. That's the number one leading cause of fatty liver disease. And if you're a diabetic, most of the time you're probably having a lot of high fructose corn syrup and sugars and things. So your liver needs to be, it does over, like we've said before, it does over 500 functions, including your hormones, and your hormones are also, you have to balance your blood sugars for your hormones to be in balance. So your liver has a lot to do with a lot of things, all the enzymes that are produced. So if it's congested, it's not going to be able to produce those enzymes needed and able to flush things out and help that bile move, help healthy bowel movements, elimination.
Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, I haven't been on my blood sugar medicines in about 3 months, but I've been taking the berberine very, very, very religiously. So, and that's a herb or several
Mm-hmm.
herbs put together. So I will report to you guys how that is working out. I am expecting good reports, in all honesty.
Oh, that's
Mm.
great.
That's going to be exciting, actually. I can't wait to tell my doctor what I've been doing after he told me to take one of the medicines that was way stronger than the one I had been taking. He had just prescribed that one to me. But if you remember, I told you guys the last time I went to him, he wanted to put me on insulin.
Mm.
I want to repeat that. He wanted to put me on insulin.
Yeah.
I've lost 22 pounds. I have
That
been
is
taking my herbs. Oh,
That's,
thank you. I got like 80 more to go, but we're getting there.
that's good.
It's good though. That's great though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's something.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
probably
is.
have more than 80 more to go, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm getting there. Well, yeah. Anyway, I'm figuring stuff in my brain right now, but that's not even important. 22 down. Um, I do feel better in my clothes. I feel better as a person. My knees don't hurt as much already, which is amazing. I can't
Oh,
wait till, and my back doesn't hurt as much either. I'm just now realizing this as I'm talking to you guys, by the way. You live with yourself and you don't think about stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, that's gone.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I don't feel that anymore. So those two things are gone. But I'm just excited to tell him that I've been taking herbs
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
see how he responds to that. So, and I also asked him, he didn't do this the last time we did blood, but he never looked at my cholesterol.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
I asked him to please run my cholesterol this time. And so we're going to see what that is. I already know it's going to be great, but I want to see where I started to where I am now. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm excited to tell you guys what that report is going to be like. So,
Yay.
That's
all
awesome.
right.
That's so awesome. It is.
I gotta tell you guys, actually, it's going way slower than I thought that weight loss is, but I was told by a friend of mine who was on the same weight loss journey, who has already succeeded, by the way. She's where she's supposed to be. She told me, just keep chipping away, Kathy, keep doing it. You are changing a lifestyle. Like
Yep.
you are changing your lifestyle. Because I'm telling her these 1 pounds a week is getting on my nerves. And she said,
Yep.
no, this is the right way to do it. Keep doing it this way. You'll be fine. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
So I need to hear somebody on the outside telling me exactly what you guys tell me.
It's healthy. It's healthy to lose it like that
Yeah.
slowly, because then your skin's not getting, going to be droopy, or, you're having time to work out,
Yeah.
tighten things up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to get back in that yoga though.
Yoga's a good
Yeah.
thing.
I really do
Yeah.
need to start stretching because that's going to help a lot with the muscle tone and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So, Miss Carla, you said there are 3 foods to substrates that provide energy for cellular
Yes.
metabolics. What is that? Metabolism. Sorry.
So basically,
Yeah. What is that?
energy degrades to heat. So
Oh, okay.
heat produced in a biological reaction, which you were talking about, can be calculated by the heat that we produce. And that's calculated in calories. That's how we calculate what we eat, what we burn. So in humans, it's actually expressed as what we call kilocalories. So that would be a small k, a small c, al. So kcals. Okay. And that's equivalent to 1,000 calories. So one kcal is equivalent to 1,000
Okay.
calories. So when you're reading stuff, you can think about that. If they say you need 1 kcal, you'll know. Just take that times 1,000.
Mhm.
So basically, how this works is we have these 3 substrates. We have carbs, right?
Uh-huh.
We have fats,
Mhm.
and we have proteins.
Okay.
And we need all of these substrates in order for us to make energy. And we have 3 energy systems, which we're going to talk about. But to
Okay.
kind of just discuss the 3 substrates and how we get those, obviously, is from our diet. So our metabolism, as we call it, that's how your body burns fuel. It's a collection of chemical reactions that occur in our cells. So, and we need that in order to sustain life. Okay. And so in order to do that, we have to ingest our food. So carbohydrates, a lot of people think of carbohydrates as sugars. And carbohydrates are sugars, but they are also, look, I'm trying to stay on on track here.
You're good.
So they how the carbohydrates differ with the fats and the proteins is in how our body burns that fuel. Okay. So in carbohydrates, the body converts most of our carbs into what we call glucose. Okay. So glucose accounts for 99% of the sugars that are circulating in our blood. Okay. And our body knows how to convert what we take in order to make the glucose that our body needs to use. Okay. So with the help of the insulin hormone, which is what your doctor wanted to give you, which comes from our pancreas, glucose travels to the cells of the bodies where it's used for energy. So what he's trying to do by giving you insulin is to help your body to convert those sugars that are circulating in your blood into glucose so that your body can utilize it more efficiently. So that's what he's trying to do. Okay.
Well, go ahead with the however, because it might be what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So after a meal, for instance, your blood sugar, your glucose levels, they rise. Okay. And so with the carbs ingested, so basically what this does is it signals your beta cells and where it's used for energy. But those beta cells also basically notify your liver, hey, we've got sugar, and that's when the insulin comes up. When it's released basically. So, after a big meal like Thanksgiving or just a really big meal and you get really sleepy, you get kind of lethargic. That's because your body is going into action to try to convert those sugars. And so
I was always told that was blood from, and I'm pretty sure I was wrong. People were wrong in telling me that, but that it was blood dropping from your brain to your stomach to help with digestive.
Well, your brain has function off of glucose. That is primary food for your brain. So, but honestly, that's not the way that works. Your brain has certain signals, but your body is intuitive. When you eat, you eat cells, and those cells, they're the ones that have those metabolic reactions. So they're actually telling the other cells the other functions of your body, so to speak, like your liver and everything that's involved in converting, the carbohydrates in your food substrates into the end product. So, yeah. But that's.
So I have a question. I have a question. So Crystal had me ask my doctor to see how much insulin was in my blood. Okay. Was that a normal? I thought it was. I couldn't remember, Crystal, if it was higher than it should have been.
Oh, I asked for the A1C for sure, always.
Well, A1C was going to happen anyway. But no, you asked for insulin to see how much insulin was in my blood and to see how much inflammation was in my blood, and I had both of those tests done as well as the A1C. A1C is a given, but the other two they don't normally do.
Yeah,
they don't normally do those other two. So when you go get your A1C, see how much. Well, maybe you didn't tell me. Maybe I researched that part. I think I did research that part.
But the C-reactive protein to test the inflammation level in your blood, that's what I would have definitely told you.
That's what you did tell me. You're right. And then I think that I researched the other one about, or I heard where we should also see how much insulin is in our bloodstream, you guys. No one ever tells you to do that. And so I did have that done. And I think I might have been high on that end, but was normal. I can't remember which one. So I apologize. I should have looked at that. But so I'm kind of confused on how it is that if I have too much insulin in my blood, Is that why? Okay, let me go back. Why is it that people need to be on insulin? Is it because we're not producing enough insulin, or is it because we're producing too much insulin? I don't understand that part of the diabetes.
There's type 1 and there's type 2.
That's true.
And one does one thing and one does the other.
Okay, so yeah,
if I'm like correct, I'm kind of brain fried here lately, so just bear with me. But your type 2 diabetes is the one where it doesn't produce enough insulin, so they give you insulin to help you get the insulin you need to bring your sugars down. Then type 1 is a lot harder to take care of because your body just produces so much insulin, but you're not utilizing it.
Okay.
They're overproducing the insulin and they're just not able to utilize it. And so their sugars are out of control, regardless if they have insulin or not.
Okay.
And
that's why.
Other thing about the type 1 is type 1, you can be born with type 1. Type 1 is irreversible. It's not reversible.
Right.
Type 2 can be reversed.
And I have type 2. So that's why you're able to see my numbers come down. I was at a 13 when he wanted to put me on insulin. I went down to a 6.5 in 3 months. And now we're going to see where I am now. Your normal level is 5 and below. And so I'm trying to get to that normal level of 5 and below. So I'm
the
really
A1C,
yeah, the A1C. Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You have way too much sugar. Like if you consume, and like Crystal said, like if you're taking like corn syrup and stuff like that, your body cannot handle that. And what will end up happening is what your body cannot utilize as glucose, and what it's going to do is it's just going to be stored as fat. So, all that excess, that's why you want to avoid having too many carbohydrates in your diet, because at some point, what your body can't use, like I said, it's just going to store as fat.
And it's going to create that brown fat, that visceral fat.
Exactly. So,
which is the fat around your organs and around your liver and around your heart and all that stuff, you guys. Visceral fat is not good for you. Right. So,
but you need some of the adipose fat, because you're going to have some fat because it's got to surround your and protect your organs. So the excess, that is where it causes a lot of issues, and
which I guess is why when people do lose weight, that's when their A1C is getting better, because they're not throwing so much off it where the body can't handle it anymore. Right. So I guess that's why when weight loss happens, your diabetes gets better.
Yeah. Well, your body is going to function better. It's just kind of, if you look at yourself as a physical machine, basically, if you put the wrong kind of gas or oil in your car, or you put too much of it, you're going to have a problem. And it's just, your body is intuitive, but the problem is we have to be intuitive like you two ladies are. And I feel that I am with my body, and knowing where the limits are, and, when it's too much is too much. And we know, first of all, I think the consensus is more than and this is terrible, like a teaspoon of sugar a day is pretty much plenty. But most people are getting a lot more than that.
Well, one soda pop,
like 50 something.
Is it 8 teaspoons?
It's like 56 grams or something of sugar, I believe.
It's about 8 teaspoons. Tablespoons. I'm sorry. 8 tablespoons of sugar in one pop, one can of pop. So
added sugar, not just I should have said added sugar. So
no, you're right.
You don't want to go beyond that, but it's in everything. So, but the thing is, like I said, the only energy source that our brain uses is carbohydrate. So a severe carbohydrate depletion can cause negative cognitive effects. When I did my internship, I did it in cardiac rehab. And one of the things that was really hard to balance with people is people who did come in and they were diabetics, on how much glucose should they have before they go into their exercise. Because if they exercise hard and they deplete their sugar. I've seen them go into almost a diabetic coma. It's scary.
Yep.
So they're, you know, a person has to truly know their body. The other thing is, without adequate carb intake, your muscles are going to be deprived of their primary energy source, and carbohydrates is the primary energy source for your muscles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to show you something. I don't know if you can see this. This is a picture of the human muscle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to show this to you is because we're going to talk a little bit about muscle, but there's something in here called they're called mitochondria.
Yep.
And I'm going to see if I can show it to you. It's a little jelly, like, see where my finger is. Oh, wait a minute. Where is my finger? There.
There you go.
That little blue jelly-like substance.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, those are the mitochondria.
Okay.
And those are the powerhouse of your muscle cells. And those are what actually utilize the energy that we produce through our carbohydrates and what we call ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But what it does is the ATP, or that adenosine triphosphate, is there is a bit of it, just a small amount of it in your muscles. Because anytime you go to move, whether it's just to get up to move, you have to activate your muscles. So without this energy, or this ATP that lives in your muscle tissue, you wouldn't really be able to activate your muscles. So now there is just a small amount that is readily available in your muscles. Then your body has to produce this ATP to keep you physically moving.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go into that in a minute, but let's talk about the second substrate, which is fat. Okay. We all know what, right? That's a lipid.
Mm-hmm.
So triglycerides are our most concentrated energy source, and it exists in our bodies in forms of free fatty acids, phospholipids, and sterols. So there's different types of fat that we have, but our triglycerides are our most concentrated form of energy, that are fat that we provide. Now, I do want to tell you, fat is mostly used, 70% of it, when we're in what we call a resting state. So if you're just relaxing on the couch, fat is what is powering you. That what we call our RMR, our resting metabolic. Right. Okay. So that's a resting metabolic rate. And what powers that? 70% of it is the fats, the triglycerides in our body, which is really interesting.
That is.
Yes. And it can provide a large portion of exercise, but it's only utilized in what we call prolonged exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So just since we just went through the Olympics, let's kind of think of this when we're talking about energy sources. So your distance, your triathlons, those people, the distance runners, those are the ones that are going to utilize, they're going to use their carbohydrates, and they're going to use their lipids, because fat has the ability to make and produce that long-term energy that we need to keep the muscles fueled. Okay. But the carbohydrate, that process has to be working as well. You can't just go from carbohydrates to fats and cut the carbs out, because the carbohydrate is going to be a steady function to keep also that energy coming into the muscle tissue.
So what I'm hearing is that you need a balance in your diet.
You do need a balance. Now, if you're a distance runner or if you're an athlete or you're
They require more carbohydrates because they burn them off more or quicker or whatever.
They're going to require more than the average person. The endurance athletes, even your, you think about your weightlifters and things, they're going to need a different balance of carbs and fats than most of us will. So if you are not doing a whole lot of exercising and things, you definitely want to keep the amount of fat that you eat in check as well, because then that's just additional, that just provides additional calories that we don't need in our diets.
Now, I think there's a difference though between good fat and bad fat though. We have to understand, like fried foods, things like that. That's, what you want to stay away from mostly. But like good fats, like omega-3s and stuff, that can replace the bad fat. And it also helps feed the brain because the brain is made up of cholesterol. So fat, feeding fat.
Yeah. And that's definitely a good point. Fried fat, bad fat. Absolutely, Crystal.
You want to watch for the trans fats are the ones that we want to look out for and avoid those.
Absolutely.
And a good source of omega-3s are walnuts. We also say fish. Fish is one. Except for there's a lot of mercury in fish, so you have to be very careful on how much you take in when it comes to those oils that come from fish. But at the same time, you can be on a heavy metal detox and balance that out as well. So know that. But walnuts. What other good foods that we can eat that are high in omega-3s?
Avocados, olives. We can do flax oil, flax seed, chia seeds.
That's chia, right?
Yeah, all those are really good. But yeah, some of I really like avocados. I mean,
that's definitely a good fat.
Definitely a good one. Yeah.
But any nuts and seeds, really.
Yes. Well, the body stores most of its fat as triglycerides. So, and the other fats that you talk about, that they serve as non-energy sources, like you said, the brown fat and those things the brown fat can cause additional health issues. One thing to mention is when we talk about metabolism. When a doctor wants to talk about someone having issues, they'll call it metabolic disease, where you have your waist circumference is too big, is too large, where you have diabetes, where we have all these other health issues.
Exactly. So, metabolic syndrome.
Metabolic
now,
syndrome.
Absolutely. I do have a question because I want to incorporate this into my diet, and that is because I have everything you just said. I have the big tummy. I have, all that stuff. But it's genetics. My father and my grandmother definitely have my body. I have their body. I really honestly do. When I see myself, I see them. And I love it because it reminds me of them. But at the same time, I want to get back to, being healthier. And so, but I want to incorporate apple cider vinegar in my diet because I've been told that it gets rid of the belly fat. So is it acidic? Tell me about, and it would be with mother. If you guys know anything about apple cider vinegar, you should have it with mother because it's the more, what do you call it? Well-rounded, balanced. Yeah, instead of it being strained out or whatever, it's all of it. So
it's the whole,
the less refined, I guess is what I mean. The less refined. I'm sorry, say Crystal.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Okay. So is it acidic? What do you do? Tell me about apple cider vinegar and how good it is for us. It's good for so many other reasons, guys, not just the belly fat. It helps you with mucus in your body. It helps you get rid of that stuff. It loosens things up. Apple cider vinegar is almost another perfect food. But I did want to bring that up. So anybody?
The Crystal, because I'm thinking if it's anything like what I'm thinking, like lemon juices, because when I had phlegm, I used lemon juice with garlic and a little bit of honey and some cayenne pepper, and I mean it knocked it out the ballpark. So I'll let Crystal.
That's a good recipe, by the way, but go ahead, Crystal.
Apple cider vinegar is supposed to help improve digestion. I believe it's supposed to balance the pH. It helps people
Okay.
eliminate better. A lot of people usually have more energy when they do it, and you're actually supposed to do it diluted,
day.
not just straight apple cider vinegar shots. It's better to do it diluted when you're drinking it for your stomach to process it a little bit better, because I believe it can burn a little bit, going down. So I was told not to do it straight by a professional. So I mean, I know what we see on the Google and everything, but Dr. Google always isn't right. So
That's true.
right. Well, yeah, that's
And
something to think
it
about.
didn't tell me to do a shots. It said to put it in water, but it's just so much more to drink.
Oh, and you want to start slow too, because if you do too much at once, it can try to cleanse you too fast. And if your kidneys aren't able to filter all those toxins out, you could get a urinary tract infection, possibly some gout, maybe. I mean, it depends on how fast your body's able to eliminate. So make sure you're also drinking. And that's another reason to drink the more like water with the apple cider vinegar, is so it helps, the water will help flush all those toxins out as it collects it and goes out.
Okay.
Good
that's
interesting. That, Crystal, that's really interesting, because one of the things that we want to do is keep our bodies less acidic. And one of the things with our muscle, I just showed you the muscle tissue, the muscle fiber, is that sprinters. I don't know if you saw the Olympics, but if you watch those sprinters and how fast they are, one of the byproducts of the energy that we produce in our muscles, and especially for sprinters, the byproducts is called lactic acid. And after a run like that, they built up that lactic acid. And if you've seen them fall after that all-out sprint, and they're on the ground and they're rubbing their legs, that's because
they're stiffening, because they got to loosen all that up and release it. Oh gosh, I hate that.
That's right. So that is, it's kind of funny when you say that. We put some of that stuff in our bodies, but you do have to be careful, because there is a balance in that. So going back to the fat.
Well, we have about 2.5 minutes left for the program. So just letting you know, we're counting down here. But
okay. So basically, fat, you should only have about 35% of it in your diet. So, and the other thing is, a fat yields 1 gram of protein yields more kcals than the carbs or the fat. So 1 gram of protein is 4.1 kcals, and the other two only yield about 1.4 kcals. So the protein, though, is something that you don't want to have a whole lot of. What I figured it out to be is you should have maybe about 6 ounces for a female, around 140 pounds, about 6 ounces.
A whole 6 ounces for a female? Or is it a lot? Because I've always done 6 ounces with someone.
I think we got.
Sorry, I don't know what was going on with my phone there.
I don't know.
But say that again, though, Crystal. You said that you thought that 4
well,
ounces,
for like a female, I would thought it was 2 to 3 ounces, and like a larger person, like 4 to 6 ounces, so you can digest it all at once.
Well,
so do you mean per meal, or do you mean per day?
Per day.
Oh, per day. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very little. I was just curious. I was just curious, like, that's so small amount.
You know what? Honestly, it's funny. If you go into the USDA plate and you look, your meat should always be the smallest portion in your diet anyway.
Yeah. And it should be the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
So always do just the palm of your hand, the size of the meat.
And you're talking about maybe, it's not.
That's about 4 ounces, actually.
Yeah. And
that's about 4 ounces.
The reason being is that you can get protein from so many other foods.
Oh, for sure. Your vegetables, for sure. Green leafy greens. Yeah, all that.
It's just because the meat itself has so much cholesterol on it. So we have to be careful with that. But there's if we have a quick second, I don't know if we do,
Oh,
but
go ahead.
Fine.
with the muscles, when we were talking about the sprinters versus the long distance, sprinters have something in called fast twitch muscle fibers.
Hmm.
And that means that they're low oxidative. I mean, they burn out fast. The long distance people, those people have what they call slow twitch muscle fibers. They're highly oxidative. They burn fat very, very efficiently. So I grew up a sprinter, so I know that fast twitch, we burn out quick, that muscle fiber. So that's something you can look up. Fast twitch muscles and slow twitch muscles. It's pretty interesting.
That
is
is
interesting.
interesting.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Like I'm always wanting to look things up. I get all
Yeah.
nerdy and want to look.
Yeah.
Oh, look it.
Well, the one thing I think about fast twitch muscles is they have really built. Have you looked at the sprinters, how built they
Mhm.
are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they burn out quick, but I'm going to tell you something. When you get older, those muscles don't work as well as the slow twitch. So you can get, the legs can get a little bit, you have to keep exercising because,
Mhm.
you can lose,
Muscle tone.
the muscle tone in your
Yeah.
legs really quick as a sprinter. So.
Yeah, and exercise helps with so many things. You know, it helps with your lymphatics, your circulation, and that's all important throughout your entire
It
life.
also helps with your mental
Yeah.
mental health, you guys.
Yeah.
Exercise is not just for your body, it's for your mind as well, and your attitude and your
Yeah.
personality and your emotions and all of that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
it helps you make you feel better about yourself when you have accomplished something in the gym.
That's
You
right.
might be tired and exhausted and walking out like, I hate this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, man, I did something today.
Yeah.
Even if you go out and walking, just sweating, you guys, helps so much.
Yes.
Just sweating.
And it can help lower your sugar a little bit if you take at least a 10-15 minute walk after each meal. You can
Right.
help lower your blood sugar if
That's
you've eaten
Drink
something.
plenty of water before. Yeah, exactly. All of that. I know it's like 100,000 degrees outside,
Yeah.
but do it in the evening or early morning and get that sweat on and get that metabolic system
Yeah.
going.
15 minutes of an all-out dance.
Yeah.
Love
Yep.
to hear. And you know what? And be like these ladies. And you know what? Google can be your friend, but just don't over Google it. And just be aware of these things that are going on in your body. And it'll make a huge difference in how you care for yourself.
And you guys,
Absolutely.
even if you can't get outside, even if you can't do this, clean a house, vacuum a floor, do the bathroom,
Yeah.
clean your bed,
Keep moving.
scrub your floor, like do something like that, because when you go up and down stairs or when you're cleaning your house, you are burning calories. You
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
especially if you're
Yeah.
sweating like I do. So
Yeah.
it's as long as you have movement and you're sweating and your heart rate is going up, you're doing something.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
Absolutely.
so exciting, you guys. I love Carla. She is so. We didn't even get to the other 2 points today, but I'm asking you online if you would come back and do that with us, because I'm telling you, the way that our conversations go are so amazing. We learn so much. Yes, I ask a lot of questions because I'm sure that the people out there are wanting to hear, like, what is insulin? What is this? What is that? Why is it that diabetes is so prevalent in the United States and not in other countries? It's
Right.
because we eat the way we eat, you guys, and we sit on the couch and we're not moving. We're not
Yeah.
moving. And a lot of it is because we're overworked and go home and just go to sleep. I get that. But we need to put 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes in our day just for ourselves. And if that's taking a walk and going home and getting in the tub, then do it.
And
So
that's
thank you so much, Miss Carla. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
thank
We
you.
have 2 other points we got to get to. So I really want people to learn that. I really do, because your explanations are so amazing. I love hearing from you.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, you guys.
I definitely learned some stuff today. I'm excited, so I can't wait to have you on next time.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
you. All are great. Thank you for what you're doing for everyone. This is
Oh,
great.
We try.
thank you. All right,
you guys,
everybody.
Go
Yep.
right on ahead, Miss
Alrighty.
Crystal.
All righty, we'll
Say
see
your
you all
thing,
later.
girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey.